Alrighty, everybody. What is going on? Welcome back to the Journeyman Sports Podcast. This is episode 29. Got coming at you today. I'm Garrett, just one half of the show. Sadly, Kate could not be here for this episode, but today got another basketball video for you guys. Gonna be doing the top 25 under 25. So any players, it's pretty self-explanatory. Any players under 25, you're the best of the 25 under 25, you'll make it onto my list. So won't waste any time. Go ahead and get right into it. Number 25, Miami Heat guard Tyler Hero. And Tyler Hero is averaging 20 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. And one thing I do want to clarify before we start, I'm doing this essentially based on who I would most want to build my franchise around if I had one player. So if I had to pick a player under 25 to build my franchise around, that's what I'm going for here. So there might be some of you guys agree or disagree with, but feel free to drop them in the comments as we go. And like I said, number 25 on my list is Tyler Hero. And Tyler Hero is a good player. He's a good shooter. He fits well on the Miami Heat system. But to me, I don't know. I think he's good, but he just doesn't impress me a lot. I think he leaves a decent amount to be desired on the defensive end of the ball, but the streaks he can get on offense when he can get hot, he's one of the best shooters in the league. And I just don't think I think he could move up higher on this list, and you could argue a couple of my other ones here are kind of controversial, but I think Tyler Hero is a really solid player, just not one of the guys I would pick over any of these other people. And number 24, got RJ Barrett, 20 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, and about 3 assists. And RJ Barrett's had a little bit of he's had a solid season this year. He got paid by the Knicks. They're expecting a lot out of him, but I still think RJ Barrett's a really good player. I still think he's got a lot of potential. And as he continues to build on his jump shooting ability, I think we're only going to see him continue to grow. And right now, similar to Tyler Hero and a lot of the other guys on this list, they aren't the number one option. RJ Barrett's behind Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. So we'll have to see as he continues to grow, the jump shot being the biggest part of it. But we know what he can do on defense and then finishing at the rim. Pretty good at both of those. So number 23 is Jarrett Allen, the Cleveland Cavaliers, averaging 14 points per game, almost 10 rebounds, and about a block and a half. And put Jarrett Allen here. I think this is one of the best rim protectors in the league. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league as well. Jarrett Allen, a couple of his teammates are on this list as well. And I think Jarrett Allen is a really good player. He sadly is in Cleveland where there's a lot of other really good, it's a good thing that he's there, but you can't really see his talent all the way through. But watching some Cavs games, this guy is legit one of the best shot blockers in the league, and he's a half of one of the best front courts in the league too. So I really like Jarrett Allen, and I still think he's got potential to grow into being an even more instrumental part of that team. Next up, we got 19-year-old and current Rookie of the Year favorite, Paulo Banchero on the Orlando Magic. He's averaging 20 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, almost 4 assists. And Paulo's having a great rookie year. He's setting lots of records. He's on pace to do a lot of things, probably on pace to win Rookie of the Year. And he's helping this Magic team that is pretty solid. I think the Magic have a really bright future ahead of them. Obviously, he's the number one pick, so he has high expectations. And I think so far he's lived up to everything and more they could have hoped he would be. I thought Paulo was the number one pick. I know a lot of people thought it would be Jabari Smith. Why can I not think of? Holy cow, why am I completely blanking now? Jabari Smith, and there was another player for some reason that I can't remember for the life of me. But yeah, Paulo's had a great rookie year, and I think he's got the potential to be one of the best players in the league with his size and his athleticism and ball handling. and shooting even. I mean, he's just the all-around package. Just need to keep seeing him grow and then put it together a little bit more on defense. And then my pick for rookie of the year at number 21 is Benedict Mathurin of the Indiana Pacers. This one might be a little bit controversial, put him over some of these guys we've already listed, but Mathurin averaging 17 points per game, 17 and a half points per game, 4 rebounds and assists and a half. The biggest thing to me is that he's been in a limited role on the Pacers. He's been coming off the bench. We saw him. He went on the tear when Halliburton was hurt, and for some reason, Pacers coaching staff is yet to really just fully let him go and be his player, just be the best that he can be. I don't quite know why that is, but Benedict Mathurin has the potential to be one of the best offensive players in the league. I think he is a little bit better than Banchero right now, and he's playing more of an impact on a winning team with the Pacers versus the Magic. So, yeah, number 20 on my list is Jordan Poole of the Golden State Warriors, averaging 20 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. And Jordan Poole is a guy who could easily rise up this list 4 or 5 spots. I just think he's a little inconsistent. We've seen his growth from rookie year to a sophomore year, and then we saw what he did last year. The finals, their whole playoff run, he was really good. I think Jordan Poole is one of the best shooters in the league when he gets hot. And now with Steph being hurt for about a month or so, Jordan Poole's going to get a chance to really show what he can do with being essentially the number one option on this team without Steph. And I really like Jordan Poole. I just think he needs to nail in some consistency and some better decision making to really rise up the list. So number 19, I've got Cade Cunningham, who's averaging 19 points per game, 6 rebounds and 6 assists. And I know this is probably a little bit controversial as well, but Cade Cunningham has not been able to stay healthy his first 2 years in the league. I think he's a really good player. I mean, obviously the stats back it up. We know Detroit's got a really bright future. They got Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey. They might be getting Wembanyama as well, but Franz Wagner, or not Franz Wagner, sorry, Cade Cunningham, just would like to see him stay healthy a little bit more. He's missed almost half his rookie season. He's going to be out the rest of the year. Now, I think he really could be one of the best top 10 guards in the league, but yet again, in my opinion, the best ability is availability. And so far, he's not been able to do that. So, number 19 is Jaren Jackson Jr., averaging 16 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and impressively 3.5 blocks, which there's been some controversy around those blocks with Grizzlies statisticians potentially padding his stats, but Triple J is one of the best defenders in the league. He's probably my pick for Defensive Player of the Year right now, making up a very good and young Memphis Grizzlies team. And his teammate, Desmond Bane, comes in next at number 17, averaging 21.6 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Desmond Bane is really a solid player. He kind of came out of nowhere, so to speak, and has become part of the Grizzlies team that has championship aspirations, that has the potential to run deep through the West, and one of the most exciting teams to watch in basketball. They've been on a little bit of a losing streak as of late, but I think the Grizzlies, come playoff time, they're going to be one of my favorites in the West, as long as they can stay healthy. And Desmond Bane's three-point shooting ability is what really sticks out for him to really find his way comfortably inside the top 20 on this list. So next up is Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets, averaging 21.6 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, and about 4 assists. And Jalen Green, he got a really slow start to his rookie year last year, but ever since then, he's really picked it up. And we know the Rockets aren't the best team in the league. They're not the most flashy team, but they've got potential. They've also got a shot at Wembanyama. They got Kevin Porter, Jalen Green. Alfred Sengun is one of the real up-and-comers, and I think one of my picks for most improved player this year. But Jalen Green is a really good shot creator. I think he's going to be a career 20-point per game scorer. And he has the ability to really get it going. And I think he has potential to be looked at in a couple of years as one of the best scorers in the league. So I'm really excited to see his potential. Just hope that Houston doesn't waste the prime years of his career if he decides to go back there and resign. Then at number 15, Scotty Barnes, having a little bit of a sophomore slump, so to speak, but 15 points per game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a block. Scotty Barnes does a little bit of everything. I really like his game. He is a guy that I think any team loves to have. Still needs to improve the shooting and just being a little bit more aggressive. But on the Raptors, there's a lot of mouths to feed, and they've underperformed this year. He's taken, not quite the step forward everyone was hoping he would after winning Rookie of the Year. But I still really like Scotty Barnes. I think when you get a guy that can get you 15, 7, 5, and then go and play defense on the best player on the other team, that's a guy any team would really love to have. So Scotty Barnes at 15. And next up, number 14, Tyrese Maxey, Philadelphia 76ers. He's been hurt, but we've seen even with him playing third fiddle on the Sixers to James Harden and Joel Embiid, this dude still gets it done. 20 points per game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Really good shooter, and I think he's one of the most athletic and most quick players in the league. He's a guy that if you can get it to him on the fast break, good luck catching him or stopping him. And I really like his crafty finishing ability around the rim for his size. Tyrese Maxey is just a really good point guard, and I think he's in a good system in Philly. I think it would be interesting to see what he could really do if he were the true point guard, true ball handler and distributor of a team. But he's going to continue to do great things in Philly, and I can't wait to see how he continues to progress throughout his career. Number 13, it's another one that could be a little bit controversial, but got DeAndre Ayton of the Phoenix Suns, averaging 18 points per game, 10 boards, 2 assists. DeAndre Ayton is a very hit or miss. As a Suns fan, I know this. And Ayton, he has even games like last night against the Nets where he gets 35 and 15, and then the next game he can go out and get 10 and 5. Consistency is an issue, but I think the way that he helped turn the Suns around with Chris Paul and Devin Booker, that's a big sign there. And I really, really think that DeAndre Ayton still has a lot of potential. I just hope that he continues to progress. He continues to get better. And I just hope that he really finds his rhythm. And if he does get traded, he gets traded to a good spot, because I still think he has potential to be one of the better centers in the NBA. Number 12, Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers, 15 points per game, 9 rebounds, and a block and a half. Evan Mobley, along with Jarrett Allen, as we talked about earlier, 2 of the best rim protectors in the league. Evan Mobley has all the potential in the world to be one of the best defenders in the league, point blank. He continues to grow his offensive game with the shooting ability. And yet again, he's another guy where he's really on the Cavs behind Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, even Jared Allen sometimes. He's the 3rd or 4th option. So, he's got to get a lot of his buckets on limited opportunity. And I think his ability to do that is good. And he's got the sky is there's no limit for how good this guy could be as a shot blocker and just as an overall effect on the game. He's a perfect fit for Cleveland, and wouldn't be surprised if they make a deep push. Next up is De'Aaron Fox of the Sacramento Kings at number 11. Fox is averaging 24 points per game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. The Kings have really turned it around. They're one of the best teams in basketball this season. And I can't speak enough about what they've done. And De'Aaron Fox has been a big part of that. He continues to evolve his game. He's really made way for Sabonis to become part of the team. He gets the ball to his shooters. We know what he can do on defense. De'Aaron Fox is a great two-way player and a guy that I don't think quite gets enough respect. But there are so many other good guards in this league, and there's a lot of guards coming up on this list that I think you could argue that he's better than. But me personally, the next, as we move into the top 10, a lot of these guys are guards that I would just pick over him just because I like these other guys just a little bit better. But I'm going to take a quick break before we get into the top 10, give my throat a chance to relax. I'm a little sick right now, so I'm trying to push through this and make sure we get some stuff out to you guys. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. Had to get a quick little water break. Let my throat rest there for a second. So moving into the top 10 of the 25 under 25. Got a big run on guards coming, so I hope you guys are ready for this. Number 10, I've got LaMelo Ball of the Charlotte Hornets, averaging 23 points per game, 6 boards, 8 assists, 1.5 steals. LaMelo has been, he's one of the most entertaining, most well-known players in the league. He's had that attention ever since high school, and I think the Charlotte team is nothing special, so to say, but they have some pieces in place. They've just been so injured, and there's been a lot of stuff going on with them, but the one thing that has stayed consistent has been LaMelo, and he's continued to put up all-star numbers the last 2 years, and I think his future is as bright as it could be, and I can't wait to see what he does. He's one of my favorite players in the league, and I mean, like as an 18-year-old, that's a guy that I really grew up watching. Like, and I've kind of seen everything unfold from Chino Hills to Spire to the everything. It's just been crazy, everything that's happened with him. But number 9, got the hometown guy for me, Tyrese Halliburton, point guard of the Indiana Pacers, who is an all-star this year, averaging 20 points per game, 4 boards, 10 assists, and 2 steals. Halliburton is, the main reason that the Pacers are in the playoff push. He got hurt for about 3 weeks or so. Pacers went on a big losing streak, and I think that really shows his value. I think he's one of the best passers in the league, along with a couple of guys we'll talk about on this list, but he's one of the best passers in the league. I think he leads the league in assists, and he's good on defense too with the 2 steals. I think he's a great leader, and I think he's got potential to be one of the best all-time passers in NBA history. So move on to number 8, which is Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks, averaging 27 points per game, 3 boards, and 10 assists. And Trae Young, the Hawks have underperformed this year, which is sad to see. I really thought they were going to be one of the top teams in the East, but I've heard also that Trae Young wants out. I think Trae Young is one of the better offensive guards in the league. I don't think he's quite the complete package like some of the other guys we've talked about and we'll get to, but Trae Young, one of the best shooters. He was, in my opinion, a little bit of an all-star snub, but we've seen just what he can do in the playoffs, regular season, all of it. We've seen the trajectory that he's been on, which just keeps going up and up. And I hope him and DeJounte Murray continue to click. John Collins, Clint Capella. I mean, that could be a really good team. And they got a lot of potential, and it all starts with Trae Young, and he's really doing his thing this year. Big respect to him, and one of the most fun shooters to watch in the league for sure. So number 7, got Darius Garland, point guard of the Cleveland Cavaliers, averaging 22 points per game, 3 boards, 8 assists, steal and a half. Darius Garland has really taken over this year as one of the premier guards in the game. We saw him kind of get out of the gate slow, rookie year in the NBA, but ever since then, it's been a very steady trajectory upwards for him. They add Donovan Mitchell, excuse me, and they are one of my favorite backcourts in the league, and I think one of the best. And he's a guy that can get it done with the ball, without the ball, and then he can still go and play good enough defense to where he's a factor on both ends of the floor. And I really like the way he moves the ball, the way he controls the offense and gets all of his teammates involved. Number 6, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the Oklahoma City Thunder. And in my opinion, this is the most underrated player in the league. Shea is averaging 30 points per game, 5 boards, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Shea is a 6'7" ish guard. I mean, he's got one of the best mid-range games in the league, and I think he's one of the silkiest and just most smooth players in the NBA right now. The Thunder, they've got a lot of young talent coming up. They got a lot of draft picks still from Westbrook, Paul George, all these trades that they've made, but Shea is one of the best players in the league, in my opinion. I don't think that's a surprise to a lot of people, but he's doing his thing in OKC. I just really hope that they can surround him with some good players and keep rising his stock because I think he's got a potential a year or two to be potentially the best point guard in the game. So really excited for Shea and his potential. Number 5 got Cade Sky right here, Zion Williamson. 26 points per game, 7 boards, 5 assists. The only reason he doesn't go up inside of the top 3, in my opinion, is just the injuries, man. I mean, when he plays, we know how good it is. He's lost the weight. He's played a lot more this year, but just still hasn't really been able to put, at least 70 to 80% of a season together. I really like Zion, one of the most likable personalities in the league, and he's got potential to be one of the most dominant forces. Just with his size, athleticism, speed, reminds me a little bit of LeBron, and he's just got to continue to put the work in to get healthy and then continue to improve that jump shot, and he's going to be one of the top 5 players in the league in no time. Number 4 got Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves, averaging 25 points per game, 6 boards, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Ant was a guy when he came into the league, I was a little bit hesitant. We heard when he was coming out of the draft, basketball might not be the biggest of priorities on his list. But I mean, you saw the talent all throughout college, and then as soon as he got to the NBA, it translated without issue. And he's just one of the best bucket getters in the league. Timberwolves is another team that's underperformed, but it's no fault of Anthony Edwards. He's done his thing this year, and he's probably the biggest all-star snub, in my opinion. But he's really working on the defensive end, which is what impresses me. The 2 steals, I cannot wait to see how he does. I just hope Minnesota puts some better tools around him. I still don't know why they did that Gobert trade or why they traded that much for him. That's just ridiculous. But moving into the top 3, I think this is pretty much the one part of the list that is just consensus. Like, you just can't deny the top 3, take them in whatever order you want. But at number 3, got Ja Morant, Memphis Grizzlies, 27 points per game, 6 boards, 8 assists. Ja is one of the most fun players to watch. He's just so athletic. He's got everything in his bag. He's got one of the deepest bags in the NBA. I love the trash talk that he brings. I think the Grizzlies as a whole talk a little bit too much for a team that hasn't won a lot in the grand scheme of things last couple of years, but they got a bright future ahead. They got 2 other guys on this list, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr. They got a lot of guys on that team, and Ja Morant, top 3-point guard in the league right now, and he's must see TV. You see him all over Instagram, TikTok, everything. I mean, he's legit, and he's probably the most fun player to watch in the league right now. So I got Ja at 3. Number 2, I got one of my favorite players in the league, Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. 31 points per game, 9 boards, 5 assists, and a steal. And Tatum, probably would be, I think he should be the MVP this year. Call me crazy. He's the best player on the best team. He's putting up ridiculous numbers, shooting the heck out of the ball, very efficient. And he's just so fun to watch. He's smooth, and I know the Kobe comparisons are a little bit out of hand with him, but I really do think a lot of his game does emulate Kobe to me. The mid-range, the footwork, there's just a lot of similarities to draw between those two, and I think Tatum has got a chance he continues at this pace, gets a championship or two, which I think this is the year for them to get it. But I think he's got a chance to be on the Celtics Mount Rushmore, and that's saying something. Had a lot of good guys go through that team, and they're one of the most historic franchises in NBA history. So Jason Tatum at number 2, and then at number 1 shouldn't be a surprise. Got Luka Doncic, the Dallas Mavericks, probably the best player in the league right now. You know, Mavericks just added Kyrie Irving, so I'm not sure how that will affect Luka exactly, who's averaging 33 points per game, 9 boards, 8 assists, steal and a half. I believe has the highest usage percentage in the league at about 36 or 39, which is almost unheard of. But, you literally see him everywhere, 50-point triple-double, 60-point triple-double. He's just ridiculous. He's a walking highlight reel, best offensive player in the league. Obviously, he leaves some to be desired on defense, but when you have to carry your team as much as he does, you kind of expect that. I'm very interested to see. I don't know how well this Kyrie trade will really work. For one, you don't know how much Kyrie's going to play. He's got some off-the-court issues. Those have been well documented, but those two are very ball dominant. I'm very interested to see, though, what happens there. So that has been my 25 under 25 for the NBA. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. This has been episode 29 of the Journeyman Sports Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, keep tapping in with us. Got lots of good stuff on the way. And thank you guys so much for watching.